When the whole world is looking at buying talent, right? As a company, I would like to look at building talent. Unconventional in the sense that my first question was never tell me about yourself. It was how come engineering to HR? To be honest, I was clueless about what I was going about, right? I was and also ran in the competition of becoming another engineer from Chennai, trying to take on a global career. What I realized was probably a fish trying to climb a tree.
மீனுக்கு எப்படி மானோட ரேஸ் விடுவீங்க? இங்க எல்லாரும் மத்தவங்க வாழ்க்கை தான் வாழ்றான். அவன் யாருன்னு தேடி கண்டுபிடிக்காத வரைக்கும்.
Shashi, moving back to your HR Sangam, right? How did you actually use that platform as a venting platform or a platform to brainstorm? What exactly happens there?
On the lighter side, one company என்ன increment, என் company என்ன increment தான் பேசிட்டு இருந்தோம்.
Okay.
But again, jokes apart, it helped us share industry intelligence.
Okay.
Right?
Should I be there in one organization for 10 years? That's how you actually judge me? Or is it okay for you today to jump every 2 years once to a different company? Still, I'll be a good candidate for you.
You tell me, this is the opportunity. How can you come and fulfill and strengthen my agenda here?
That's great to hear.
As long as you are able to offer a value proposition, a resume can be built with ChatGPT. Hey, tell me, what ideas have you been pursuing? How have you put your talent to test?
Mr. Shashikanth, who has a 23 years experience in various organizations like Reliance, Bajaj Alliance, TVS, Vedantu. Now he is spearheading in MulticoreWare as a CHRO and Chief of Staff. Hi everyone, I'm Suresh and welcome to my podcast Career Illuminator, your go-to channel for insights, inspiration and expert advice on building a successful career. I'm excited to bring you conversations with top leaders including CEOs, CHROs and HR professions who has wealth of knowledge to share with us. Today we have such a prominent leader, Mr. Shashikanth, who has a 23 years experience in various organizations like Reliance, Bajaj Alliance, TVS, Vedantu. Now he is spearheading in MulticoreWare as a CHRO and Chief of Staff. Welcome Shashikanth to my podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me over. It's a pleasure.
Your journey has been great so far. I've been studying about you, seeing you in different forum. Audience wants to know more about you.
Well, God has been kind. I've been able to grab whatever opportunity came my way. I started my career pretty much right after my engineering. Like every household, I took up engineering because the household living adjacent to my house chose to send their student to be an engineer. And yes, there were not much choices coming from a middle class family. I took up engineering, but then I realized through my program that I am better at dealing with manpower than horsepower. And then I decided I will take up a career in HR. And then right after my engineering, my first job was HR. So I have been unconventional in the sense that my first question was never tell me about yourself. It was how come engineering to HR?
Exactly.
Then I had to say the education was for parents and the profession is for myself. And then that's where the journey started. Anything that came by was an opportunity. I did not have a filter saying I would like to take this kind of a job. In a way, they say beggars cannot be choosers. So I was happily begging for opportunities, got one, grabbed one, and then the story built thereafter. In the last 23 years, I started as a recruiter, moved into learning and development, became a generalist, then handled traditional organizations, helped build HRMS systems, devise policies, been part of mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures. After about 14-15 years of corporate experience, traveling around, I said the inner calling must be answered, and I chose to be an entrepreneur offering HR services, advisory services. I ran an HR startup offering fractional HR leadership to startups, small and medium enterprises and family-owned businesses. So that was a sweet spot.
Fantastic.
And it went well, but of course I had to wind it up due to health issues. And then I got back to the corporate world, and it's been a great journey. Worked a lot, got recognized, and to me, I've always focused on what opportunity I can get and how I can fulfill it to the best of my abilities. And then, money, growth, fame have all been byproducts.
But Shashi, there is a saying, nothing succeeds like a success. Today you are a successful person, so you're saying all these things. But what was that point? What made you to think about moving from engineering to a people manager? So can you just let the audience know what made you to actually choose this role?
To be honest, I was clueless about what I was going about, right? I was and also ran in the competition of becoming another engineer from Chennai, trying to take on a global career. What I realized was probably a fish trying to climb a tree. Today, I would have delivered some 1,500 lectures, addressed various forums, spoken, handled learning and development programs. Would you believe if I tell you that when I was in college, I had tremendous stage fear?
Can't believe it.
Yeah. I realized fear comes not because of a lack of confidence. It's about trying to express what you are not good at, right? To me, I felt when engineering was not my domain, and I was finding it difficult to express. The same person had no problems performing a mimicry program on stage during culturals, or being part of the lead, singing group in the college, or whatever, right? So, to me, that was a realization that, hey, if you play to your strengths, you don't have to worry about fear, confidence, and things like that. I just went with that. I said, what is it that I can be good at, right? If I could leverage my empathy, my ability to put myself in the shoes of other people, which I always did as a student, as a friend to many of my classmates, right? I could put myself in others' shoes, take an empathetic look at things, communicate well, negotiate, ensure that we are able to bring two conflicting people on a common ground. What do we do this? Marketing and sales was a very exciting proposition, because I said, with that raw energy and the drive, I said I can conquer the world. But then somewhere I felt, thankfully, I was able to talk to a few people and understand about myself better. And HR was the calling, it was the destiny, it was what I was meant to do. And yes, here is where we are.
Fantastic. I mean, it's great to hear this. But one more thing, Shashi. 25 years back, if I remember it well, people always think HR is a profession which is soft-centered, whereas marketing and sales is a profession which is a little bit aggressive, right? And it is always a myth that HR is a profession meant for a woman. Because our society is designed like that, right? Soft person is women, and someone aggressive and hard is men, right? Nothing wrong in that, but I'm saying, so what made you to break this particular myth?
I wouldn't I wouldn't slot this as a binary function between soft and hard. I would rather look at what is the tenacity required for this role. Ask somebody handling unions. They will tell you how much tenacity they need to have, right? You need to be vulnerable, to be able to receive feedback, to be able to constantly observe and curate and get better and better. At the same time, be firm in implementing your processes, policies, and compliances, and ensure that, okay, there is some sanity that is maintained across. It's a tightrope walk. It's not easy. I always keep saying this. It's extremely easy to configure machines. It's difficult to even read mindsets, right?
Absolutely.
From that perspective, when I say HR, there has been tremendous scope for people to deliver meaning and value. But it's like four blind men trying to touch an elephant and say, hey, this is how I see this is how I perceive the elephant to be. I would rather say HR has been the subject of too much of trolling because of a lack of understanding of what HR is and what HR can actually do.
Exactly.
From a traditional lens of seeing us do pizza party planning, doing Rangoli competition, do Chris Child around holiday season, and keep people happy, well, I can't blame them. But HR is beyond all of this. What we are looking at is the surface level impact that HR offers to employees. There is a glimpse into the deep layered roles and responsibilities of what HR professionals do. I think the world will look at this community from a different lens.
Awesome. Shashikanth, as you said, even today, few of the people think that HR is all about doing a fun Friday or, a Rangoli competition. But I know for the fact that you have started something for the HR community, right? For the people. There was no reason or there was no need for you to do that, because you were in a well-settled job and you were growing up, well in your ladder, but you did something for this community. Beyond your comfort zone, I would say.
Yeah.
Why?
Create a platform for networking, knowledge sharing, and gain along the way. I wanted to learn. I wanted to network with the community. That was a very individualistic, self-centered need. I said, how can I expand this and make it bigger? So when I do it for a community, like how we do as HR professionals in our roles day to day at the workplace, I could see a larger purpose getting fulfilled. And in that, I became one among the learners and grew along. Sangam, HR Sangam was primarily a platform to provide knowledge sharing and networking to a lot of people. If at that point in time, when I started Sangam, I was barely 27, 28 years of age. And if I had a need, I had the gumption to start something and, back my instinct with all the initiatives that we did subsequently. I said, there must be many, many more HR professionals in my age group who would probably look for an opportunity to constantly learn. We develop habits, right? We have hobbies. As professionals, as HR professionals, where are we putting ourselves on a learning trajectory, on a continuous learning commitment, right? And confidence, you derive confidence when you benchmark yourself with people from the industry.
Right.
And a lot of people suffer from insecurity, midlife crisis, not knowing what to do next. When you come as a community, when you get people to talk, the confidence builds, the morale builds, and you're able to benchmark your eagerness to learn and then back yourself. So I felt a community could do more than what an individual could do to themselves. And that's where Sangam was born, and it ran so successfully for about 12, 13 years until COVID came.
And you have built a career for thousands of people. I would not call it as a career. It's indeed a life. You have built a life for people, right? How do you feel as an individual? What kind of accomplishment that you see in yourself today?
We are mere instruments in the larger design of an organization, right? We enable. It gives us satisfaction. It makes us feel good. Emotionally, it gives you a high that you have been a gateway to so many people to build, establish their careers, seek re-entry into the corporate world. So yes, it feels happy. It also makes us feel very responsible. At the end of the day, we are mere custodians of the larger scheme of running an organization. Right. So I wouldn't attribute to just our profession. I would rather attribute this to the entrepreneurs who come with a vision, come with an idea, come with the initiative to impact the society positively through opportunities. Yes, I have an idea. I see a business opportunity. I run an establishment, and by way of that, can I impact a section of the society through meaningful job opportunities, fair practices of running organizations, and then help families subsequently grow, right? Families of the employees grow. Right. So I don't think it is fair on HR to be taking credit. We must give credit to the founders and the entrepreneurs or the capitalists or industrialists, whatever we call them, right? A person who's able to back an idea and extrapolate it as a business opportunity impacting so many people, I think the credit should go there.
I really thank you so much on their behalf. But this community is doing really, really big thing behind the doors, which we all should accept.
We'll take that with all modesty.
Shashi, moving back to your HR Sangam, right? How did you actually use that platform as a venting platform or a platform to brainstorm? What exactly happens there? Or should these kind of platforms come a lot in future? What do you think about it?
On the lighter side, one company in increment, young company in increment. Okay. But again, jokes apart, it helped us share industry intelligence.
Okay.
Right? Especially in environments where you are managing collective bargaining, unionism, in aspects where there are common problems, right? We have been talking for decades now on this issue of 90-day notice period. We have still not been able to come together as an industry to say, hey, this is the way we want a solution. Because the problem is, who will start first?
Correct.
Right? The good news is we were able to bring people together. We were able to converge, agree and accept on common issues plaguing organizations.
Right.
Even acknowledge the fact that, okay, we need to do something together. But I would like to see these forums evolve further and say, hey, while we share and acknowledge issues, can we go into actioning? Right. So the biggest advantage of such platforms is to come together, create awareness, make common ground and say, okay, this is an issue or an idea beyond my institution, my organization. So we can look at it, amplify it and look at it industry-wide. But what do we do with it is a scope I would see as taking forward.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And as a HR, team or your team, what do they actually see in the resume? Is it all about the longevity? Should I be there in one organization for 10 years? That's how you actually judge me, or is it okay for you today to jump every 2 years once to a different company? Still, I'll be a good candidate for you.
See, there is a lot of subjectivity. When somebody keeps jumping organizations, there could be valid reasons. There could be primary reasons saying, okay, you know what, I'm looking because I've had toxic organizations, or I've had compensation needs as I go along. So reasons could be many. To me, I think organizations are moving towards forget the stability, forget the hopping, forget the resume. You tell me, this is the opportunity. How can you come and fulfill and strengthen my agenda here?
That's great to hear.
As long as you are able to offer a value proposition, right? Today, resume scanning was a key skill about 15 years back. Resume parsing came. Video resumes with about 20-30 seconds of bites of a candidate came by. AI is going through all the resumes and saying what it is. And at the end of the day, a resume can be built with ChatGPT.
Very true.
What are we looking at in the resume per se? I would rather focus time on keeping the resume aside. I will still use it for the sake of the process of applications, or recording or documenting what a person carries as experience. But beyond that, in my interviews, I go beyond the resume. I strive to have meaningful conversations. Hey, tell me, what ideas have you been pursuing? How have you put your talent to test? What purpose has driven you in the last 5 years, 10 years? And if I can have meaningful responses to these and very sensible responses to this, then you're talking about a value prop that each one, that is the company and the candidate, can offer to each other, and then build on it. I think as an industry, we are with technology enablement, we are moving more from quantitative hiring to qualitative hiring.
Excellent.
And meaningful conversations help a lot there.
That brings an interesting question, Shashi. When you're talking about you're not looking at CVs anymore, or you're not looking at resumes anymore, let's talk about the career gap. For any reason, for that matter, especially women who comes after their breaks, right? How do you consider those who has come with certain breaks but still very much aligned to your requirement?
How aligned they are is something you will get to know only when you talk, right? So my talent acquisition team helps in setting up meaningful conversations, right? Where we are able to find overlaps. Okay, you have an interest, I have an opportunity. You have a skill, I have a project. You have an aspiration, I have a growth trajectory. So when we are able to map all these and then say, hey, you know what? I see this particular manner. Do you see your career in the same lens that I do? Yes, then let's get talking. Let's look at creating this path further, and then the typical offer rollout and things go. But to me, it doesn't matter where the talent comes from.
Okay, but don't you think that the person is not in touch from the market, or what kind of alignment that you actually gauge?
When the whole world is looking at buying talent, right? As a company, I would like to look at building talent.
Awesome.
Why should I go to the market and say, I am buying this? The mad rat race. What are all the factors that I'm fighting with? I'm talking of a 90-day notice period. I'm talking of people with career gaps. I'm talking of people with 2-3 offers and still trading with us. You never know whether the guy
that was my next question.
You're not sure if the guy is going to join you or not.
Yeah.
I would rather not look at an A or an A+. I would look at a B player and make an A+ out of him or her over a period of time. I said, we have this constant need of saying, okay, I need to look at, this guy is at 98 out of 100. He should be the perfect fit for me. I'm okay to take somebody at 80% fit.
That brings one more question, Shashi. Being a chief of staff, right? You are also responsible for business growth. What is the threshold for a 98 to come to 100? What kind of time that an organization gives to such people?
I don't think we should force fit this saying, in this time you do it. Organizations have the mandate towards their employees in giving opportunities and making them aware of what it can mean to them. And the employee must take it as their ownership and then put them on a path, right? I know companies where they say you need to attend a minimum of X amount of training programs in a year. Otherwise, you will not have your appraisal done. You need to attend office. You need to work from office for X number of days in a month. Otherwise, you will not be eligible for a variable pay or appraisal. Yes, it might work for them. The way I look at it, is that nothing comes force-fitted,
Right.
right? Give them meaning, give them purpose, make them responsible, or build ownership in them. Things will automatically happen. I think it's no longer a top-down. It has to be distributed. I think when you look at the conventional lens of managing people, it comes with authority, command, and control. Here you are talking of collaboration. Gig workers are knocking on your doors and saying, hey, you know what? I have this capability. Can I collaborate with you on a freelance basis? You are not even giving them an ID card or an employee ID or a company-provided laptop for that matter, right? At the end of the day, hey, you come, you offer a certain expertise. It bolsters the output. It bolsters the capability of the team working on the project. The outcome is the stakeholders are happy with the outcome. Why would you not be open? So break the bias, break the conventional mode of thinking, and I think talent is there in every nook and corner. I'll give you an analogy, right? Until 20 years ago, if you actually noticed, much of the talent in the Indian cricket team, the men's cricket team, would have been from the major cities. Dhoni came and changed it. Today, you find people, you have stories of people coming from every nook and corner of the country, right?
Right.
So when you open up the doors, opportunities to be accessible to talent, you see magic creating, right?
That's
your impact exponentially grows.
That's a wow statement, I would say.
Yeah.